Hello everybody and welcome to Reading This Week. For Reading This Week, I have to tell you a little story about the book I'm going to be sharing with you. Last night, the sky was so clear, so I decided to stand outside with Dilly and take a look at the stars. So when I looked up at the sky, I saw stars, I saw the moon, and I saw something else. Now, it was a little bit bigger than a star, but it was way smaller than a moon. So it got me thinking, what the heck is that? So I used an app and I found out that wasn't a star, that was the planet Venus, which was pretty cool. So I started getting really interested. I'm like, oh, I wonder if we see any other planets out there. So in order to do that, I decided to look at a nonfiction book. So what exactly is nonfiction? Now, in order to tell you, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about fiction books first. Now, when we're looking at a fiction book, it is not true. It's something that didn't really happen. So whenever you think fiction, think fairy tale. A fiction story could be Goldilocks and the Three Bears. A fiction story could be Rapunzel. A fiction story could be Dogman. Those are fiction stories that didn't really happen. It would be really cool if they did, but they're just for the author to entertain us. So today we're going to be starting our new little unit on nonfiction books. What exactly is a nonfiction? Well, if we know that fiction means fairy tale, a nonfiction or no fairy tale is a book that's about facts. So a nonfiction text is a book about real things, people, animals, events, or places. So inside the book I have today, inside this book are a ton of really cool things about space, like really neat things. Like, check that out. That's absolutely amazing, don't you think? So while I was reading this book, I noticed a lot of things inside of it. I noticed certain little features, text features. So what exactly is a nonfiction text feature? A nonfiction text feature is something to help you understand the nonfiction text a little bit better, or even finding what the main idea of the page is. So we're going to be taking a look at all the different features inside a nonfiction book so you can maneuver through and get as much information from these books as possible. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I wanted to, that's upside down. So the first thing I wanted to do with this book is find out a little bit more about the stars, because I thought that was really neat. Now, whenever you have a nonfiction book, there's this really cool thing called table of contents. So what exactly is the table of contents? It's a page or two that tells you where certain topics are inside of the book. Okay, so I want to look up more information about the stars. So I'm going to first look at my table of contents before I do anything. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose where I want to go. I think I'm going to go ahead and do Far, Far Away on page 88. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip over. Would you look at that? Far Away on page 88. Excellent job. This is going to tell me exactly what I want to know about stars. So I'm going to go and open up to the first page and see what else we can find. Now, what's the first word that you guys notice on this page? I don't know about y'all, but I noticed this one because it's huge. Now, this right here is called a heading. A heading can also be the title of the page. It tells you what that whole page is going to be about. So keep a close eye for those headings. So let's take a look at this heading. It says universe. I'm not sure if that's exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and flip one more. And would you look at that? I said I want to look at stars. And what does the heading say here? Stars. So this is probably the page for me. So I found my heading. Next, I'm going to be looking at this page. Now, guys, this page is really cool. I'm super excited to show you. Okay, so take a look at this. Is that not the prettiest page? But it looks like something. It's not a drawing. It looks like a photograph. So one cool thing about these nonfiction books is they use a lot of photographs. Photographs show us whatever it is that page is talking about. So for example, I wanted to learn about stars. It's showing me this photograph of stars. Now, inside the photograph, it has certain things like this right here. It says stars come in different sizes and colors. Now, little blurbs like this inside or right next to the picture is called a caption. A caption is used to describe a photo, or it can tell us a little bit more about what's happening inside the photograph. So, for example, this is telling us that there are a bunch of different colors, which we can clearly see on the page. I'm going to keep looking at this page because I noticed something else. Do you guys see what I see? Right down here and right up there, It says two things. It says cool star and hot star. So inside a photograph, there can be two things. There can be a caption and there can be labels. Now, a label is something that points something very specific inside the photograph. Like inside my stars here, it's telling me that this specifically is a cool star and this one specifically is a hot star. So I bet by reading this, it's gonna tell me a little bit more about cool and hot stars. Let's go ahead and keep reading. I'm gonna go ahead and read this first page about stars and see what other text features we can find. On a clear night with no clouds or city lights, you can see about 3,000 stars in the sky, but there are billions more that you cannot see. Stars create energy that makes them shine. They are made up of hot gases that are held together by the star's gravity. And when you look at that right over here, it shows me a little diagram. Now, a little diagram, this could be something that kind of just shows the stages of something happening. And would you look at that? There's also labels inside the diagram. So a label can be found inside a photograph or inside a diagram. So looking really closely, we can see the hottest star is blue, in between is white, yellow, and orange, and the coolest is gonna be red, which is pretty neat if you ask me. I noticed something else right over here. This is the other thing that caught my eye when we first looked at the page. These words right here are much darker and bolder than these right here. Sometimes inside of a non-fiction text, they use bold and italic print, okay? So bold print is just print that kind of sticks out a little bit. It's like you kind of rub your pencil over and over and over so it pops. So it's a bit darker and bold. So your eye immediately is caught to the bold outline. And it usually has some really good information. I didn't see any on this page, but the other kind of text feature that's a print is italic letters. Now, italic letters are letters that kind of lean to the side. Now, we find a lot of them, but for some reason it wasn't on this page. So let's go ahead and keep looking. Okay guys, so when I was reading, I came across this right here, okay? Now it's another photo, another picture of a photograph and a label, and it says Proxima Centauri is outside the Earth's solar system. I have no idea what that is. It didn't say anything about a green star. So sometimes when you come across words you don't know, you can look in the glossary. Now a glossary is really, really cool. It's that book's own little dictionary inside. Usually a glossary is found at the end of a nonfiction book. I want to look up this right here. Proxima Centauri is outside the Earth's solar system. So what I'm gonna do, because it doesn't really say where the glossary is on this page, so where would I have to look? The table of contents. So I'm gonna hop on back to my table of contents because I want to know what that is. And let's see if you guys can find what page the glossary is on. Looks like it's on page 124. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and hop over to page 124. Would you look at that? The glossary is right over here and it has a bunch of bolded words. These must be the vocabulary words inside the book. Now, I was looking for Proxima Centauri. So I'm gonna see, as you can see, they're in alphabetical order. So let's see, Proxima, P. So that's towards the end of the alphabet. So I'm gonna look up here, orbit, orbiter, planet, right here. Do you guys see it? I found it. Okay, so what a glossary is gonna do is it's gonna have that special word and then the definition or what the word means underneath it. So let's see, it even has the pronunciation. Proxima Centauri. I was even pronouncing it wrong. That's embarrassing. So it says the second closest star to Earth. I had no idea. So now knowing what it means, I'm gonna hop back and see how much more sense this page makes. It says Proxima Centauri is outside the Earth's solar system. So the closest star to Earth is that one, which is pretty neat. It helped me understand this page a lot better. I have a question. So after looking at all this stuff about stars, I kind of want to look a little bit more about Venus, the star that we saw the other night. Earth's neighborhood. I bet it's gonna be here, but I really just want to find information about Venus, nothing else. So there's another place you can look to that tells you even more specific things if you're trying to find it. It's called the index. So what an index is, it's like a table of contents, but with a lot of very specific topics that you're looking for, or a specific phrase. So I'm going to use the index to find specifically information about Venus. So I'm going to use my table of contents. It says my index is on page 126. Now, as you can see, there's quite a bit more information on this page. So just like the glossary, it's in alphabetical order. So Venus, V. So that's gonna be towards the end. So I'm gonna look right over here. Let's see if I can find it. And that's the first thing. How lucky am I? It says Venus, pages 40 to 43, and facts, page 41. So I'm gonna flip over and get some more information about Venus. Okay, so I'm gonna go to page 41 because I wanna know a little bit more facts about Venus. It's Venus, how cool! So inside I can actually see other text features. Let's see if you can spot them all together, every single one that we've been over. First, we have our photograph. Inside the photograph, there's bold print and there are captions. Mercury and Venus are the only big planets in our solar system who do not have moons. Cool. Okay, and right over here, there's another photograph with some labels that tell us exactly, that's what I saw. That's exactly what I saw. How cool is that? Oh, I'm getting so excited. Okay, as I'm reading, I can see that there are diagrams and the heading and another caption. There are so many text features on this one page, and each one has a very specific thing to tell me about Venus. Let's go ahead and read this. Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system. It has an atmosphere of thick clouds. The clouds hold in heat like a blanket, making Venus very hot. So there's the moon and there's Venus. Now, it says that it's the same size as the Earth. It's the second planet in orbit around the sun, and it takes about 4 months for a spaceship to get there. That's a pretty cool fun fact. The sun's light reflects off of Venus's clouds. This makes Venus look very bright. Only the moon is brighter than the Earth's night sky. Can you find Venus in the sky? Hint, it looks like the brightest star in the sky, but it's a planet, not a star. Guys, that completely explains why I saw it the other night. Oh my gosh, this book gave me all the answers I needed. Okay, so let's take a quick recap of these nonfiction text features. First things first, a nonfiction is something, a book, or maybe an article that is about something real, either a person, place, thing, or event. Now, a nonfiction text feature is something that'll help you understand the page better and get the most information possible. Things to look out for are the table of contents, your heading, the photograph, a caption, labels, bold and italic print, the glossary, and the index. All of these things will help you get the most out of those books. So, what do you guys think? Sometimes when you get so curious, you have to go out looking for information, and these nonfiction books are the greatest thing. And they are everywhere about absolutely everything. So, what do you guys think? Do you have any nonfiction at home? If you do, read about it and learn about something new, just like I learned so much about Venus from this book. Okay, guys, that's our reading lesson for the week. I will see you in the next video.